my favorite show. My favorite show. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Carolyn. In this video, I'm going to be doing a part 2 to my ranking television shows I've watched video. If you want to watch part 1, it's going to be down below in the description. In part 1, I only mentioned Netflix shows. This is going to include Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and Disney Plus, I believe. Also, in part 1, I had 25 shows I ranked. In this part, I'm going to be doing 18 shows. Just kind of for the sake of talking. I felt like I was talking for so long. It was just such a long video to film when I did 25 shows, so I'm cutting it down to 18, but it's still a lot, so I want to get into it so I don't waste that much time. The ranking is going to be the exact same as part 1. We have would rewatch 100 times. Basically means it's my all-time favorite show. I don't ever get tired of watching it. Next level, Chef's Kiss. Means it's amazing. Third level, okay. I'd recommend it, but I'm not gonna be super hyped about it. And then fourth level, don't waste your time. Self-explanatory, just don't watch it. Like, I would never recommend it. And the worst level, the last level, is absolute trash. As in, I do not understand why it was created. Like, I probably bully the people who do like this show. I'm just kidding. I don't even know if I have any that would fall in there, but we're gonna see. Because I had a few in part 1, but we'll see with this one. I have my laptop here. I think it's time to just get straight into this video. First TV show, 13 Reasons Why. Okay, a brief description of 13 Reasons Why if you haven't heard of it. It's 4 seasons long. It's basically, it's a lot. That show has so many trigger warnings, I think. Oh my gosh, okay. It has to do with a girl who takes her own life because of stuff happening in her life at her high school. She basically gives tapes, like cassette tapes, to people she blames for her rough life. It's really weird and sad. I think it's a really depressing show, but I think it got really popular because it was a popular book prior to it becoming a Netflix show, and it has like a mystery. There's lots of cliffhangers every single episode. I do have to say this show did a great job on continuing seasons without the plot getting boring. Overall, the show was pretty good. I'm gonna put this show in okay. Next TV show, A Teacher. This is on Hulu. It stars Nick Robinson, my favorite actor ever, and that's primarily the reason why I watched it. It's a limited series, so it's only 1 season long. Basically, another pretty sad show. It takes place in a high school, and it basically explains the relationship between a student and a teacher. It's supposed to highlight how that type of relationship really affects a kid that young. Personally, I didn't like the show. I wouldn't recommend it. Unless you're a big Nick Robinson fan, like that's the only thing that kept me watching it. Like I just wanted to see him. But had it been any other normal actor, I think I would have stopped after episode 1. It's predictable, obviously, like you know what's gonna happen in that case, a relationship like that. I'm gonna put it in don't waste your time. Yeah, I'm sorry, Nick. American Horror Story. I believe this is on Amazon Prime. There are currently 9 seasons for it, with a 10th coming out this fall. So this show, it's been going strong for so long. I do have to admit, I have not watched every single season. I believe I jumped around also. I have it here on my iPad, all the seasons. Season 1, Murder House. Season 2, Asylum. 3, Coven. 4, Freak Show. 5, Hotel. 6, Roanoke. 7, Cult. 8, Apocalypse. 9, 1984. And the 10th season, I believe, is going to be called Double Feature. So the ones I have watched are Murder House, Asylum, and Freak Show. And I loved every single one of those seasons. So honestly, I think I would like the other seasons. American Horror Story, I would not rewatch 100 times. Okay, and it's definitely not just okay, so I think I'm gonna put American Horror Story in Chef's Kiss. I honestly would not recommend it to a younger audience. You definitely like have to be a teenager to watch these because it's weird, you know, it's like thought-provoking. That's the best description I can give you, but Chef's Kiss. On to the next show, Control Z. Okay, this one I found by accident. It was just on my homepage and I was like, you know what? Let's watch it. Let's see what this is about. It's a show in Spanish with English subtitles, of course. It takes place in like a high school. It's high school students and there's someone leaking information about others. And it's like personal things where you don't want that exposed. And basically the show is about the students trying to figure out who's in charge of what's happening because a lot of people are being affected. I think I'm gonna give it an okay. I'd recommend it. It's like a mystery and you're kind of trying to put the pieces together, and when you think you have all the pieces together, you're wrong. You're so wrong. And the ending is like, what the heck? All right, next TV show, Dexter. Dexter's on Hulu with 8 seasons. The show actually ended in 2013, which was a while ago. Dexter it's weird. It's another weird show. It's about a man who tries to live a normal life as a criminal investigator. What does he do? Yeah, he's like a blood splatter analysis guy, but he has like the impulses and urges of like a murderer. To take control of those urges, he'll kill people he thinks deserves it. So in his eyes, he's like a hero, you know, like ridding the city of bad guys. And it's kind of comedic. There's a lot of characters that like are thrown into the mix. His sister works in the police force. It's funny to see him balance his murderer side with his work life, with his personal life. So I'm gonna put Dexter in Chef's Kiss. Okay, next TV show, Freaks and Geeks. Easily would rewatch 100 times. My brother actually recommended this to me, and like initially when I watched it I was like, oh, this is like an old show. Whenever they're like from the early 2000s, I'm like, oh, the quality's bad, the humor is boring, you know, but I was like hooked after the first episode. So Freaks and Geeks is on Hulu and there's only 1 season, which makes me so sad. It takes place in a high school. To kind of put it simply, freaks would be the druggies, the deadbeats who got horrible grades, didn't care about school, and geeks were the nerds. And that's basically how the school was divided. You were either a freak or a geek. The show kind of shows a girl who was a geek making her way into being a freak. So funny, the comedy in that show. All right, next TV show, The Fosters. So you can watch The Fosters on Freeform or with Hulu Premium, I believe. There are 5 seasons for that show, and The Fosters is a family. They take in 2 foster kids, and it's just like the dynamic of how the foster system works and how kids are thrown into random houses, and it's just like this loving family who takes these kids in. It also deals a lot with high school issues, which I think is really cool. I'm gonna put The Fosters in Chef's Kiss. I would recommend it. I would not rewatch 100 times though, just because there's a lot of drama in that show, mainly because it kind of follows the story of a lot of the kids. So you see a lot of sides of every character. I remember watching that show and being like, dang, they make my family seem sane. Next TV show, Good Trouble. It's a spin-off of The Fosters, which I thought was so cool and I'm glad they continued. It's very different, I'd say. Good Trouble follows the story of 2 of the foster kids of that family. They moved to LA, they moved to Hollywood, and it shows them being independent, you know, when they are grown up and graduated, you know, starting jobs. So it's a really cool transition. I would say Good Trouble focuses a lot on social issues. So I think that's so dang cool and important. Like, it educates you so much. They basically move into like an apartment where everything's kind of like shared. I forgot what they call it. So everyone has their own room, but the kitchen, living room, and bathroom is all shared. Good Trouble is on Hulu right now with 3 seasons, and I honestly hope it goes for another season because it's really good. I'm gonna put Good Trouble in Chef's Kiss. Okay, next TV show, Glee. I think off the bat, I'm gonna put it, it's not absolute trash. I'd say don't waste your time. I felt like Glee's plot was always so crazy. I feel like they made it way too dramatic for what it needed to be. It made high school seem 100% worse than it actually is. Like, these kids got slushies in their face. It was like a normal occurrence. Like, why is that normal? That does not happen in high school, at least not mine. Yeah, I think the reason I'm not putting it in absolute trash is because all the characters were really diverse and like interesting. All their stories were really interesting, and the songs, a lot of their songs were bops, so not complete trash, you know? Glee has 6 seasons on Netflix, and I would say that they wrapped up the show pretty good. Like, there were no loose strings, which I feel like sometimes a lot of TV shows fail at fixing up when they're ending the show. So Glee did that right. All right, Gossip Girl. Gossip Girl is on HBO Max and it has 6 seasons, and each season is just a wild ride. It follows the lives of a few kids in high school, and they're like crazy rich. Like, their parents are like rich of the rich, and it follows the life of a poor kid from Brooklyn, you know, that's in their same school. So it's funny to see both of their worlds clash and for them to date one another, and there's so much drama. I would not rewatch 100 times. I've attempted. I thought I'd be able to, but I think when I rewatched it, I was like, oh no, I know what's coming up, and you can anticipate it and you like get a headache because you're gonna be like, oh man, this like next season's gonna be so angering. Ugh. I would not rewatch it 100 times, so I'm gonna put it in Chef's Kiss. The cool twist with Gossip Girl, if you've never watched it, is that someone is releasing secrets. Gossip Girl is someone who keeps track of these main characters and their like lives and their drama. It's like a blog just kind of sending out notifications of their whereabouts, and it'll be like, oh, looks like they broke up, and it's kind of like, how does she know? How does Gossip Girl know? And in the last episode of Gossip Girl, you find out who that person is, and it's very controversial because people are like, how did they make this person Gossip Girl? Oh, it's a good show. I'm glad I watched it. Next TV show, High School Musical, the musical, the series. This is going to be on Disney Plus. It's only 1 season right now with another season coming out soon. It is kind of like a spin-off of High School Musical, the movies. It takes place at the exact same high school, East High, and rather than it being like an exact spin-off, they made it so that these theater kids put out a play of High School Musical. So this theater teacher joins the school and is like, you guys have never done a High School Musical play in your High School Musical school. Like, that doesn't make sense. So she has these kids put on High School Musical, and other than that, it's not really cool. Like, I only really watch it because I loved High School Musical, so I was like, I've got to watch it, you know? I think I'd put it in okay. It's not a waste of your time. Like, the drama that these kids have, pretty intense for being a Disney show. A lot of relationship issues, and I'm here for the tea. I'm always here for the tea. Next show is Once Upon a Time. It is on Disney Plus with 7 seasons, so it's pretty long. Essentially, it's like Disney stories come to life. So there are so many Disney characters in like real life form, but it's cool because it's so modernized. So all these characters have like modern life issues, and they live in this town. It's in the US and it's like hidden by magic, but since it's hidden, none of the humans know about this town, and there's like a mayor of the town, you know, there's villains in this show, so it's cool to see how they make each person come to life. It's such a good show. If you're a Disney fan, I 100% recommend it because I think you'd love it. So I'm going to put it in Chef's Kiss because it is that good. I never got tired of watching it. Parks and Rec is the next TV show. Parks and Rec is going to be on Peacock, Hulu Premium, and YouTube TV with 7 seasons. My favorite show. My favorite show. Automatically would rewatch 100 times. I have rewatched it 100 times. It is amazing. It's a comedy. I don't know how to describe it other than it's just city officials working together, but they have so many different clashing ideas and mentalities. So seeing all of them kind of engage and interact with each other is so funny because all their personalities combined are hilarious. There's a lot of romances as well, which makes the storyline juicy. 10 out of 10. Please watch it if you have not. Next TV show, Shameless. So Shameless is on Netflix with 11 seasons that just finished wrapping up. I love Shameless. Shameless is about a poor family in Chicago, and it's them trying to survive. Literally, they're so young getting jobs because they're just trying to keep a roof over their head. And the reason I love it is because they make it a comedy, so you don't feel as bad for them because they're literally living, you know? That's how they have to live. They don't have the best parents in the world, so they're just trying to live life while also getting an education and staying out of trouble and not getting in trouble with the law. I'm gonna put Shameless in would rewatch 100 times. I would say that this show is targeted more towards young adults. Like, I wouldn't recommend this for children. No. I think the first episode is kind of crazy. A lot of crazy things happen. Next TV show, Stranger Things. Stranger Things is good. Stranger Things is about a parallel universe existing and like scientists knowing about this, and it's like sci-fi almost. Yeah, I consider it sci-fi. I think I love it, one, because of the era, two, because they have kids. They're literal kids and teenagers fighting, like they're the ones trying to solve the issue. There are a few seasons already out, so I don't want to get into the literal plot of every single one, but it follows these kids and their friend who has special powers, like trying to fight off the bad guys who are part of the experiments and involved with the parallel universe of craziness. It's a good show. Where would I put it? I'm gonna put it in Chef's Kiss. Next TV show, Teen Wolf. Teen Wolf has 6 seasons on Hulu, and if you are into supernatural things like werewolves, then I would recommend Teen Wolf to you. It is on the teenagery side with high school drama and high school relationships. It's definitely geared toward that audience, so it might seem a little childish, but I love it because it has Dylan O'Brien in it and Tyler Posey. Beautiful men. The show is basically about a high school kid turning into a werewolf, and you know, he's learning all about his pack and what it actually means to be a werewolf. You know, there's obviously levels in his pack, and you know, he's gotta make his way up to be alpha. I think I'm gonna put Teen Wolf in okay. Not Chef's Kiss, only because it is pretty teenagery. But don't get me wrong, I love that show. Do not get me wrong. It's just because of the audience it's geared towards. But the comedy is there, the romance is there, the high school drama is there. All right. The Mandalorian with 2 seasons on Disney+. I love that show. I would rewatch it 100 times. It is so good. If you are a Star Wars nerd, go watch it if you haven't watched it. If you've heard of Baby Yoda, then this is what Baby Yoda is referencing to. This is the show where Baby Yoda appears. Its actual name is Grogu, but so good. I don't really know how to describe this unless you've watched Star Wars, you know. I would say that if you haven't watched Star Wars, then I wouldn't recommend it, only because I wouldn't recommend someone start with this show. I definitely recommend watching the movies first, just so you, 1, understand what's going on, 2, you can enjoy seeing familiar faces and seeing how it ties into the actual movies, of where it's placed within the movies. For that reason, I wouldn't recommend this to many. I would recommend it 100% if you watch the movies. There's my advice. All right, the last show, The Mindy Project. I watched The Mindy Project just not even that long ago, maybe a few months ago. It has 6 seasons on Hulu, and I believe I finished it in literally like a month. I binged it so fast. She works at a clinic as an OBGYN with a bunch of coworkers, and it's about her dating life and her trying to find the love of her life. You see her go on a bunch of dates and literally meet so many guys while also juggling her work life, and all her coworkers are so funny. They're like the side characters in this show, and yeah, you see Mindy go from, I don't want to spoil it actually, but you see how she progresses throughout the seasons, from trying to find love to finding love and to getting dumped, and you know, a whole mess, and it's so funny. I don't think I'd rewatch it. For me, it was kind of like a one and done deal. I laughed and I'm happy I watched it, so I'm gonna put it in chef's kiss. Overall, very, very good. That's all the shows. Okay, that was 18 shows. I guess that's it. If you have varying opinions, let me know down below in the comments, because I had a fun time answering comments in part 1 because people would be like, oh my god, that show was amazing. How could you place it so low? They're just my opinions. Obviously, I want to know what you guys think. If you think I ranked one too high or too low. I'm surprised I didn't have any in absolute trash this time. Probably because I don't try to watch shows that are absolute trash. Yeah, I had a bunch in chef's kiss. I'm not mad at myself for that. But yeah, let me know what you think of this video. Make sure to give it a like if you liked it. Subscribe if you are not subscribed already. Last time I asked you guys to comment some shows you recommend me to watch, and you guys commented so many shows. Like, I'm so happy. I never have to go looking for a show now. I wrote them all down in my notes, so I think I have like 20 written down. But yeah, please keep recommending shows because I've already started watching from that list, and I'm so happy. Thank you so much to anyone who commented last time. But yeah, that is it for this video. I post every Sunday, so I will see you next week. Bye!